Hi guys, I'm Dr. Salcedo, your conscious gynecologist. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a board certified OBGYN that practices in Southern California, and I'm so excited to share my knowledge with you. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, share it. Send me a comment about what you think. Today we're going to be talking about perimenopausal symptoms and why it's so hard to diagnose. So let's get to it. So perimenopause is a time that in a woman's life that lasts for about 10 years, and the average age of menopause is 51. So a woman could be actually experiencing menopausal symptoms, perimenopausal symptoms, as early as the early 40s or even late 30s, depending on when a woman actually starts menopause. The symptoms are totally obscure. These are symptoms that actually can be so many other problems that we often overlook. But one of them is insomnia, trouble going to sleep or trouble staying asleep. Sometimes it's hair thinning or fatigue. Sometimes it's difficulty losing weight. Sometimes it's being short-tempered. Sometimes it's joint pain. Of course, hot flashes and mood changes, things that just aren't as exciting as they were before. Maybe even some sexual disinterest. Maybe your libido has gone down. All of these things, it's super easy to see how we can overlook them as women, especially women who are very busy, have a lot of things going on in their life. We can definitely overlook that and maybe sometimes think that it's from other causes. Maybe we're thinking it's our thyroid. All of those things for sure need to be evaluated. But one of the big things that we should talk about is if you haven't had a period for 3 months. Now, if you're below age 45 and you haven't had a period for 3 months, first of all, make sure that you're not pregnant. Second, if you haven't had a period for 3 months, you got to see your doctor to make sure you're not in early menopause or before age 40, premature ovarian failure. And we want to make sure that. And a lot of women wonder, well, what about like any hormone testing? Is there any hormone testing that can actually tell me if I am in perimenopause? Well, if we're talking about no period for 3 months before age 45, absolutely. We need to look at follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and estradiol to make sure that you have not gone into to early menopause. A lot of times that analysis involves thyroid stimulating hormone as well. But if those numbers are normal, it's really hard to diagnose perimenopause based on lab values. And a lot of women ask me, hey, like what exactly are the hormones that I should be checking if I'm having these symptoms? Well, after age 45, there's not a whole lot of female hormones that will actually be helpful to us that will indicate, yes, you're in perimenopause. And the reason is because these hormone levels fluctuate so much. Imagine if like you were to tell me that you were having some vaginal dryness and hot flashes, which are perimenopausal symptoms, but your hormone testing was normal. That's actually a common finding, and one of the biggest reasons why we don't recommend hormone testing in women with perimenopausal symptoms after age 45 is because the hormones vary so much. It's incredibly invalidating if we were to tell a patient, oh, your hormone levels are normal, it's probably all in your head. And yes, it is in our head. There's so many brain changes that are happening during this climacteric or perimenopausal state that it's just really hard to pinpoint it to this one point in time where we look at our hormone levels as women and decide, are we or aren't we in perimenopause? Now, all of those symptoms I'm talking about are important symptoms, and it's really important that we get a good evaluation with our OBGYN or our provider just to make sure that we're not missing anything obscure. But when ladies have these really subtle symptoms of fatigue or hot flashes, any of the symptoms that I talked about, we should definitely check to see what your anemia levels are, what your iron levels are, make sure that your liver and your kidneys are functioning normally with a complete metabolic panel, a CBC, an iron study, thyroid testing, but they don't always mean that you need female hormone testing. Actually, one of the hormones that we should be testing is insulin levels and lipid panels, because sometimes undiagnosed diabetes or prediabetes or hypertriglyceridemia can actually be some of the major metabolic players that can make us feel these ways. And it's definitely something worth looking into. So, if you're having perimenopausal symptoms, yes, you probably are if you're in this age group. And that's normal. They come and go depending on how things are. But there's not always female hormone testing that we should be looking at unless you're below age 45. After age 45, we really don't look at FSH, LH, or estradiol too much because they vary so much in that after age 45 age group that they don't mean a whole lot in the perimenopausal symptoms. Now, a woman is in menopause if she hasn't had a period for 12 months, and so that's something that needs to be discussed with their doctor too. Otherwise, we just really understand ourselves, nurture ourselves through this very, very difficult but also exciting time in our womanhood, in our maturity, because we are becoming matriarchs in our society, which is something to be valued with all of the experience that we have. So I don't know about you, but I'm actually embracing this perimenopausal time because I know that I have very valid experience that I can share with other women. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and like or subscribe. Share it with a friend. And I can't wait to share more Conscious Gynecology's videos with you.